Well, well, well. Believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, but Sony's Madam Web just got even worse. Over the course of its 6-day opening week, wait, 6 days? Friday, Saturday, I don't know how the math adds up on that, but even with its 6-day opening weekend, it only managed to rake in $25 million. That is an absolute box office disaster for Sony. And honestly, 25 mil is probably what Tom Holland's Spider-Man spends alone on his web shooters every year. And let's not even talk about the Rotten Tomatoes score. Oopsies, my bad. Now look, we all love a good superhero flick, right? I mean, the drama, the action, the spectacle of it all. There's nothing better than seeing a comic book page that you read as a kid come to life right before your very eyes. But with Madam Web, they seem to have forgot, well, everything. This movie is just utter blasphemy no matter which way you try and look at it. I mean, it's like a pizza without the cheese, or a car without the engine. It's like a superhero movie without the superhero. Huh? And somehow it just got even worse. Instead of accepting failure, because no matter what anybody tries to tell you, this movie is a failure with a capital F. Now, Sony is trying to twist the narrative when it comes to their egregious and deceitful marketing tactics. But me and you, we're not gonna let them get away with it. You see, according to star Isabella Merced, the fact that Madam Web bait and switched audiences with the promised appearance of 3 Spider-Women was not an error actually, it was an intentional creative decision in order to hone home the fact that this is an origin story, because they didn't base their entire marketing around a 1-minute dream sequence to trick us into buying tickets. No. They did it for the art, for the cinema. What a load of spider-sized horseshit, man. Or wait, horse-sized spider shit? Maybe, I don't, who cares? Either way, a movie being an origin story doesn't mean you have to sacrifice seeing the heroes in their full glory. It's the excitement of the transformation and seeing them don their costume for the first time that makes an origin story so thrilling. Superheroes are not just characters in these movies. They're symbols and modern-day icons that fans of all ages can look up to. So this rhetoric that Sony is trying to push out there, that somehow not including your superheroes in your movie is a good origin story trait, is just utter man. While yes, the journey of the hero is important, so is seeing the hero don the costume for the first time and actually use their powers. It's not just about the origin, Sony. It's about watching the hero's transformation and seeing who they become. So when Isabella Merced says that Madam Web's deceitful marketing was a creative decision, one has to wonder, why couldn't it be like these other origin stories? Why couldn't they mix character development with action? And why couldn't they deliver on the promise of a superhero movie? The answer to these questions might actually be way simpler than we think. Because in the world of business, there is a famous expression: if you don't use it, you lose it. And Sony, my friends, did not want to lose it. It's abundantly clear that Sony made this movie not out of love for the character of Madam Web, or for the fans even, but so that they could keep their grip on these Spider-Man adjacent characters. It's evident in every awkward dialogue exchange, every unrealistic scene, and every confusing character motivation that Sony doesn't care about Madam Web or the rich tapestry of the Spider-Man universe. What Sony cares about is money.
Hello, I like money.
And what I can't stand is the fact that even now, they can't own up to it. Everybody's onto you, Sony, everybody. They tried to hide their true intentions by using a misleading marketing strategy, by promising us Spider-Women only to release a film that doesn't have any. How could you do this to me, Sony? How could you put Sydney Sweeney in a Spider-Woman costume right in front of my face only to take it away from me, you sick bastard? All jokes aside, this wasn't a creative decision like Merced is now saying. It was clearly deception. It was a bait and switch, and it put up a huge, bright neon sign that tells us that Sony is more concerned with their profits and their property than delivering a good movie to their fans. Honestly, I can understand why they thought it would work though with S-tier writing like this. Oh, okay, well, that's a bad example. I mean, okay, I meant to say this. Look, the saddest part is that they thought these lines would be iconic. They really thought they cooked something here.
Hold up. Let him.
Sony, you have got to do better. Cut it out with this deceitful marketing crap time and time again, and stop abusing the trust of your fans. Superhero movies are not just about the flashy costumes and the epic battles. When companies like Sony adapt these stories into film, it comes with responsibility.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Responsibility to honor these narratives, to stay true to the characters, and to pay respect to the source material. They owe it to the creators who have poured their heart and soul into telling these stories. And they owe it to the fans who have invested their time, energy, and emotion into these characters over the years. But what we've seen with Madame Web is a complete disregard for this responsibility. The misleading marketing, the lack of character depth, the awkward dialogue, all of it is a slap in the face to comic book fans. And the fact that they can't even own up to it is a clear indication that the powers that be at Sony couldn't care less about making a good Madame Web movie. All they could care about is keeping the rights to the characters that they have in the Spider-Man universe. So to garbage Hollywood, here is a call to action. I think I speak for all of us when I say it's high time that we stop this trend of half-hearted adaptations and misleading marketing strategies. Let's go back to paying respect to the characters, the creators, and to the fans. Let's stop treating these properties as mere cash cows and go back to treating them like what they are. Because at their core, these are works of art.